This is your cell 95441. Okay, hold on. Let me take it down. All right, let me give you a call back. We're about to start court, but thank you for calling me. All right, thanks. All right, bye.
Second one on the docket. Is that his name? Michael Bassett, Louisiana, dismissed that out-of-state one. I think they said Nevada.
It was cleared from one state, but not the other.
Yeah.
Derek is running.
So we'll catch it, that there was probable cause for arrest.
Could you pass the message along to him? Is Houseman sound familiar to you? He was a local politician for 10 years. Settled a charge about like some type of firearm charge.
Let me try
He put a
again.
gun on someone at a Walmart or something.
No sound?
I just wanted to give Ron a heads up. He just got arrested
can't
for
hear you, they said?
DUI last night. He bonded out already, but I don't know if any of the media picks up on it.
Could you try calling the jail, Brian?
No, I don't even have.
SAL, like
No,
salesman.
could you call the jail again?
SALESMAN. First name Fitzroy. Yeah, like it sounded familiar, so I did a Google search. I'm like, yep, that's him. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.
7723.
What's going on?
Nothing?
So I heard that.
I got it. He was on the phone. Craig. Hey there. They can't see her or hear her. Right. Yeah.
No, they're not. No.
Just the main jail so far, yeah. 'Cause this morning we did two.
Probably all they
You
could,
think?
the elevator never found.
Some updates.
Okay, he's saying, what do you want her to do? Put system on.
Judge.
and then still just have that key access while we're at it. So whether car,
Keith, let me just have what's there so far, please. Thanks.
you know, just with
And
shoes.
coffee's getting light again.
I just hope I could fit it safe. It's almost like this, car, so you gotta slide. I got a 10. Their shoes is pretty much the size. So I'm a 10 and normally, but like open toe shoes and stuff like that. Sometimes I need to know because the top of the foot is hard. If it don't fit, I just take it back. Because they didn't come. I would have got 11 if they came. But I got, they don't fit.
Well, let her read it. What was it, Craig?
Okay, and what about hear me?
When you're in sidebar, the jails won't hear you or see you. Sidebar only leaves the audio and video in
Well,
the
how
courtroom.
did it turn on?
I don't know. Now you need to turn the speakers on. There you go.
What was it that you hit, Craig? I didn't see.
User error.
Yes.
That's
Sidebar.
usually what I do.
Sidebar was active, and the speakers were off.
They were not off.
They were. It was red. This was red.
Not a really little one. I haven't.
You were just testing me, Judge. I know.
It's exactly what it was. This is a test. User error. It's like pilot error. That's what happens when they have these fancy schmancy things. I just need an on-off button. Period.
You try that.
Thank you.
All right,
Sorry.
Judge. No problem. I need my exercise for the day.
God, tell me about it. I get out of my car and I counting
I know.
steps. And how many times I have to use a swipe card. Oh, well. All right, let's rock and roll. Okay, Laquita Qualls.
I'll run.
All right. Do I stand up right here?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Qualls, you have a violation of parole. And for the Department of Corrections, I find probable cause and there is no bond. This is out of state in Pemscott County, Missouri. Okay, thank you very much. You'll have another hearing on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Mindy Bond.
No problem, John.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. You have a count of 2 counts of aggravated child abuse and 1 of lewd and lascivious behavior. I find probable cause as to all counts. I'm ordering that you have no contact with the alleged victims in person, by phone, or by any electronic means whatsoever. I'm appointing a guardian ad litem for the minor children's. State, what do I need to know about bonds?
This bond, 2003, at a possession of hydrocodone, cocaine charge from the early 80s.
I can't hear you.
A cocaine charge from the early 80s. Your Honor, the state's bond recommendation really has more to do with the alleged violence and alleged threat made to the 10-year-old victim. Your Honor, the state on the count 1 is going to be seeking a $50,000 bond. On count 2, a $15,000 bond. Your Honor, frankly, and I think the court might have asked me before we started, on count 3.
Since
think
you
that's
gave me
kinda-
the other information, that made it more clear.
Yeah, whatever bond the court deems appropriate in count 3. But what I'm also going to be asking for, Your Honor, is a pretrial release of the GPS monitor. My concern is it appears that these are neighbors, and I think something needs to be in place to ensure to keep Ms. Bond further away from the alleged victims, and then a monitor to ensure that she stays away from that location.
Judge, I don't think Ms. Bond would have any problem staying away from the neighbors. She'd agree to a GPS monitor, but the bond the state is requesting is just simply not affordable for Ms. Bond. It's tantamount to no bond for someone who hasn't been in trouble since 2003. She's been living here all of her life. She's been staying in the same location for the last 12 years. She's had the same job in the film industry for the last 36 years. She is familiar with everybody in her neighborhood. She believes that it actually will be people in her neighborhood who will assist her in posting bond. She has about $1,000 saved herself. She has 2 twins, age 9, that she needs to care for. And as the report indicates, apparently she was a little intoxicated when this happened. That's probably has a lot to do with the underlying incident here. She would agree to no alcoholic beverages whatsoever during the course of the pretrial program. But I would ask the court for bond and at most $10,000.
The allegations in the probable cause affidavit are disturbing. I'm going to set a bond on count 1 at $25,000, $10,000 on count 2, and $3,000 on count 3. Order no contact guardian ad litem. She posts bond. She's in pretrial fitter with a GPS monitor. She's to not go on the property of where the alleged victims reside. No alcohol, no drugs.
Your issues, usually with the GPS monitor, we say stay 500 feet away.
Well, if the problem is this, if it's adjoining, is it adjoining property? If it's adjoining property, I can't say that.
Because for the monitor to work efficiently, Your Honor, if they live too close, then we're always going to have alerts. So there have been times when other courts, I'm not saying that's what this court should do, will say they'll have to find somewhere else to live.
And Your Honor, and I understand that there are certain situations where that isn't necessarily a necessary release condition, but because the level of violence is so high that's alleged in this case, that there essentially was a threat to kill, I do think it is necessary to ensure that she stays at least 500 feet away from where these children reside.
How far is 500 feet? She couldn't live in her own house then.
Not if the children are her neighbor.
Here,
It appears that one is, the address ends in 11 and the other one ends in 21, which sounds like they're next door.
it would appear so, Your Honor, and
Yes,
I
it is.
don't
Nobody
make
asked you to
this,
say anything.
I don't make this request lightly. I think it's based on what's being alleged. I think it is appropriate in this situation.
May I say something?
No.
I never go on their property.
Well, ma'am, if you're ordered to stay 500 feet away, you wouldn't be allowed in your property either.
Yes, ma'am, but this is a house that is, rented out by Section 8, and there's 8 kids there, and they're always
Hey, hang on.
my property.
Don't say
Okay,
anything.
you may want to
They
ask
never-
her if she has someplace, some other
Is
relative
there
she can
somebody
live
else,
with.
somewhere else you can stay, Miss Bond?
Not really.
Have any friends or family you can stay with?
They don't live here in Florida, so I would just work with my sister. I can't live with her.
She's been living in that house for, 12
Well,
years,
I
Judge.
understand that, but we have allegations that she put her hands around somebody's neck. So I will order that she stays away 500 feet. She may have to move in with her sister or her neighbors who live over 500 feet away. What you need? Slide it over. Come over here, you don't. There, paper towel.
You're on a hand
Just
yard.
come up here.
Indy, you may have to find someplace else to stay. You understand that?
Yeah, and?
Yes.
Okay, so you might want to look into that.
Okay.
Your bond right now is $38,000.
Can I put up my house to get out?
Yeah, you get a hold of a bondsman. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes,
That's what I'm
Okay.
gonna do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That it?
Yeah, that's it. Good luck, Mindy.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Lordy Elsenbert? Okay, Mr. Elsenbert is charged with grand theft and trespass. I find probable cause. Bond is $1,000. Sorry, miss. Annabelle Fentamayo.
North Broward.
I don't know why there's 2 counts of battery. You can take a look and explain that to me. And
This is 2 different officers.
then I have 2, why do I have 2 of these?
She was a reset from yesterday, so they might have.
Oh, okay. All right, so we have 2 counts of battery on an officer, possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less, 2 counts of resisting an officer without violence, and giving a false ID to law enforcement. And giving the state a chance to, and the PD to tell me why there should be 1 or 2 batteries. 'Cause I only see 1.
I can't pull up the probable cause affidavit on
No?
Odyssey.
I have it.
Do you have a copy, Eric?
You can borrow mine.
All right, if I can, Judge.
Okay, Your Honor, it's, the allegation is, if you go, the first instance is,
Page 3 of the first paragraph?
yes. And
Got
then you
that.
go, and then you go to the last page, the second paragraph, where it's alleged battery against Officer Reich.
Oh, okay, you got it.
remember reading this yesterday, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so there's 2 counts of battery. I find probable cause on all 6 counts. And let me hear from the state on bond.
I'm not seeing any criminal history, Judge.
Judge, Ms. Fentamayo has been living here in Florida for 10 years. She has her father here. She's a graduate of high school, Pembroke High School in Pembroke Pines, 2016. She can stay with her father, and she's not working right now because she receives disability. I've tried to reach her aunt. Unfortunately, her aunt's mailbox is full, so I was not able to leave a message for her aunt. I would ask the court to consider, in light of the fact that she has a minimal, in fact non-existent, prior criminal history, that the court sets a low bond for Ms. Fentamayo, and we can work on trying to get her out.
Okay, She employed anywhere? Are you working, ma'am?
No.
She gets a disability, Judge.
Oh,
Just in the report, just saying.
okay, $1,000 on count one, $1,000 count two, and the other bonds are $100 on 3, 5, and 6.
Judge, what about count four?
It's RO, what is that, resisting? I'll ROR her on, 4, 5, and 6. So her total bond is $2,100. Thank you.
Also, Judge, I'm gonna be asking you to sign a photo order
Sure.
on her so that we can get pictures taken.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Eduardo Moreno?
Bonded.
Elijah Del Rome?
Judge, on the last guy, did you find probable cause?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
The one he
Good
said
afternoon. Wait a second, what?
bonded, the one he just said bonded, I still have the file, can you find probable cause?
Yes, ma'am, I find probable cause on all counts. Okay, on Mr. Del Rome's charged with operating without a valid driver's license, and he's got 2 KPSs for the same. Looks like he never
Del Rome.
got a license,
Del Rome.
and he has 2 pages of citations.
The facility is now locked down. All inmates are report to your bonds and a by name by face head count is to be conducted. Attention all staff.
Guessing it's some of them.
Facility is locked down. By name by face head count is to be conducted at this time.
Judge, this guy's bond was posted.
Oh, which guy?
Mr. Del Rome?
Elijah Del Rome,
Mr. Del Rome?
bond posted.
Your
Yes,
bond,
ma'am.
your bond was posted. Mr. Del Rome, be a good idea if you got a license, then you would stop coming to visit us so often. Good luck.
True. Thank you, Your Honor.
Alejandro Maymot?
Good. How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Okay. You're charged with driving suspended license. I find probable cause. Your bond is $100. I see a lot of DWLSs before 2004 and earlier. I don't see anything recently.
We had one in 2016.
His license is presently suspended for 2 failures to pay. I'm not showing that. I'm showing, wow. It's not on his record. See, that's a problem with these driving records. They're not always accurate. So you have one for 2016?
Let me check to make sure though.
The problem is with this charge, sir, is it's like baseball, that rule of 3 strikes and you're out. If you get 3 of these on your record in any 5-year period, the state revokes your license for 5 years. And if you drive on a habitually revoked license, you then get charged with a felony and may end up going to prison for 5 years. So the state's checking.
Yeah. It looks like the 2016 was without knowledge. So.
Okay, so my suggestion to you is to bond out and pay your 2 tickets and reinstate your license. And if you do that within 90 days, you may even be eligible to get this case dismissed.
Your Honor, at this point, I got no way of getting bond out because I had no money. I'm retired, get a check, and all my IDs, including my direct deposit card, being stolen in the last couple of days ago.
How long have you lived here in South Florida? How long have you lived here in Broward?
Broward since 1995.
So, Judge, he's been a long-time resident here. He said he's lived here since 94, 95. I don't know if the court would consider an ROR so that he can get out, can try to straighten that license
I can
up,
do that.
and then come back to court with a good license.
He's had enough money to make
Thank you, sir.
significant money, to put significant money into the vehicle he was driving. And that's according to what he said to the officer.
And so what did they think? The vehicle was stolen?
It was reported stolen. It says here, one moment.
Yeah, this is really weird. In addition, Maimon advised that he had purchased the vehicle and invested significant money into the vehicle to repair it since purchasing. See report of Officer Walters.
I don't know if it's an ongoing investigation. At this point, I would have to imagine that because it looks like the officer certainly investigated the matter, and either doesn't have enough at this point in time or determined.
Yeah, I think he can try and bond out for the $100. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Anthony Pete.
So wait, I asked you, do you know what happened?
Mr. Pete, Your Honor.
He what?
He refused to come and join us today, Judge.
Okay, let's reset tomorrow. Demon Philpotts?
That's what I think.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
He did voluntarily waive his appearance.
What do you want? I can't, you know, with this noise, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Sheila, Your Honor, I'm Mr. Pete.
Yes.
The reality is that he waived his own appearance. It's one thing if it's a medical reset, something that's not his own fault, but he chose not to be present in court. And, you know, his first appearance is scheduled for this afternoon. I would ask that the court would go ahead and conduct his first appearance. And
It's a $25 bond, Judge. I'd ask you to bring him back tomorrow and see if the case can be resolved tomorrow.
And what if every defendant decided we didn't want to come to court this morning or this afternoon, and we have an empty room? Does everyone get reset because they chose
Still a
not to come?
$25 bond, and not everyone.
What
Let's
is the
take it on a
bond dollar-
case-by-case basis.
What does the bond amount have to do with whether he chooses to come to court or not? If he
Because
doesn't
it's the
bond out,
kind of,
he'll-
it's the
if he-
kind of case that can resolve itself possibly tomorrow.
and if he
I
doesn't
mean,
bond
it's-
out, he'll
what is the charge? Loitering and prowling? I mean, does he need to be sitting in jail for the next gosh knows how long, taking up a spot in the jail, taxpayer expense on a loitering and prowling? When
Yeah, you and I are paying for him.
And he,
that's right. But if he comes
I
back
don't
tomorrow,
want to do that.
I don't think you should do that. I think you should reset him for tomorrow.
Is the court ordering the jail to bring him then? Because let's all remember, he's the one that decided not to come. It wasn't, you know, like I said, it's not a medical reset. And if he and if he doesn't bond out, he'll always come back. He'll always be set for a second look, I imagine.
Is BSO available? Is he in North Broward?
Yes, Judge, he's in North Broward.
Hi there.
How you doing, Judge?
I'm great. How much effort would it take to bring Mr. Pete in front of our nose this afternoon? You think you can cajole him with a little bit of effort?
We'll do our best to get him down.
Thank you. I'll put him on recall.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Demon Philpotts.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon. This is a capias for operating without a valid driver's license. I find probable cause. He is not licensed. That's it. That's the only thing on his record. Anything else I need to know, State?
How can I go back? I don't think nobody's down here by me. I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, if he wants to resolve it, it's a withholding court costs.
Yeah, that's what he. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Judge, he wishes to accept the court's offer.
Okay, how do you wish to plead, sir?
No contest.
Thank you. Lots of luck to you, sir.
All right.
Fitzroy Salesman.
All right. Bond posted. I'm showing bond was posted.
That's it.
Good afternoon,
Shooter with
sir.
bond
You're
posted?
charged with DUI and unlawful speed. I find probable cause. Your bond is $500.
And was posted, Your Honor.
What?
Bond was posted.
Bond was posted. Thank
There you
you.
go. You should be out in just an hour, a couple hours. Okay.
James Thompson. I guess we have the same issue in this case as we did with the earlier case.
I would say so, Judge. It looks like they just arrested everybody in that room.
Mr. Thompson's on his way up, and he had declined the public defender.
I'd still make the same argument.
Yeah, you don't have to. I'll make it for you.
Please
Okay.
feel free,
He
Judge.
indicated that he's hired private counsel. Her name is Farouk.
Okay, Mr. Thompson is charged with battery by a person detained in prison or jail facility. I do not find probable cause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it is what it is. What am I doing about this bond?
You know, Judge, he's being held on
ROR.
attempted murder. It
Okay,
could be
very
ROR.
good. Thank you.
Yes.
No PC.
No peace.
Gregory Romano. I mean, fair's fair. It is what it is. Uh-oh. Tell me what?
Mr. Pete?
You mean, what happened?
It's locked down. They can't move him right now.
Talking about Mr.
Oh,
Pete.
that's what they
Mr.
were
Thompson.
talking about. Yeah, we heard.
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. No, Mr.
Pete.
Yeah. Mr.
Mr.
Pete.
Romano's here.
All right.
Okay.
So I don't know what you want to do, Judge.
Well, wait till we get to the
If
end
they
of the
can't move-
docket. If they lift it, fine, and if they don't, we'll send them tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
It is what it is.
All right.
Gregory Romano is charged with grand theft. I find probable cause and the
Judge,
bond-
as to probable cause.
What?
As to
As
probable.
to probable cause.
Can you kill that mic, Mike?
Kill it, yeah.
Thank you. I Googled.
So did I.
Did you the
Yes,
value
I
of this
did.
whiskey?
Yes, I did,
think
and
this
it
is-
goes up to $600 a bottle. I mean,
Well, but they don't say what kind of bottle of whiskey it was.
They don't
It goes
have
down
to.
to like $34. They
They
make some
don't.
real rot gut, these people too. So,
it was McAllen's.
It's-
He got
yeah.
good taste.
but we don't know which bottle it was.
I don't think we have to
All right,
get
all
to,
right.
to that point.
I just
but-
think it's kind of funny
but
we
you
both
and I
Googled
were on the
it.
same page, right?
We were.
Yes, well, and I'm sure we would enjoy one after the docket this afternoon.
I would love
also.
that, Judge.
Yes, I'd be glad to share. So I find probable cause, and the bond is $1,000. Thank you, sir.
Judge, he wanted to ask the court, he can't afford $1,000. He didn't know if the court would consider an ROR. I can tell the court that he's lived here for 32 years. He is single. He currently works. He sells solar panels. He does have family members that live here in the area. I don't know if the court would consider an ROR at this point or something less than $1,000.
Your Honor.
Stay.
When was he released, Patrice? I'm pretty sure. February 12th of this year, he got out of state prison for fleeing and eluding. He was, from 2015, he was sentenced to 21 months state prison. 2015, grand theft and credit card fraud, 21 months. 2015, possession of alprazolam. He's also, he's registered, Judge. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. No, the request is denied, but thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
Jason Frauman.
Judge, he indicated he's gonna hire private counsel.
Okay, Mr. Frauman, you're charged with possession of cannabis over 20 grams, possession of THC, possession with intent to sell or manufacture or deliver cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause as to all counts. Your bond is $3,100. I'm also ordering that you not be in possession of any firearms or ammunition. Okay, thank you. Lloyd Jackson?
Yeah. That's,
Okay, Mr. Jackson, good afternoon. You're charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Your Honor, Mr. Jackson
and
has,
Mr. Jackson also indicated he's gonna hire private counsel.
Okay,
Mr. Jackson has criminal history out of the state of Georgia, felony drug charges, false name, law enforcement.
can you turn down there that,
you.
whatever that noise
Sure.
is? I hear people laughing and everything.
Battery from the mid-90s. Additionally,
God, that gives me a headache.
possession of cocaine, 2013. Your Honor, more concerning than his criminal history, the allegations in this case. High level of violence, the alleged victim suffering a fracture to her left forearm and laceration over her left eye. Allegation of use of a machete, threatening to kill the alleged victim. Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting bonds in the amount of $75,000 on count 1, $50,000 on count 2, no victim contact. Should Mr. Jackson post his bond, pretrial release with a GPS monitor.
Okay, Mr.
And I'm sorry, just for record purposes, just noting the allegations, what allegedly led to this, Your Honor, is also cause for concern.
Yeah, I read it all.
Yeah, no, I'm just making a record.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, I'm going to follow the state's recommendation, set bond at $125,000 for both counts. You're to have no contact with the victim. That means in person or through any electronic means, either by yourself or through third parties. You'll be fitted with a GPS monitor to stay 500 feet away from her at all times.
Your Honor, just to clarify, I heard the state asked for 75 on 1, 50 on 2. Is that what the court is ordering?
Yes, you're welcome to clarify. Yes, and GPS. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, is he allowed to work?
Yes.
He has a job?
Yeah. Terrence Cunningham?
I think he bonded their checking.
Okay. Jacob Webb?
Bonded, but Cunningham bonded.
Cunningham.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. You're Mr. Webb?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. You're charged with possession of cocaine, 2 counts of driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, 1 with an alcohol balance 0.15, unlawful speed and possession of an open container of alcohol in a motor vehicle. Find probable cause. Your bond is $2,500. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for the record, Mr. Webb is gonna, he wanted to represent himself.
Okay, thank you. Kevin Smith?
Yes, ma'am. No problem, Your Honor.
This one's gone. Did you give this one? You might give this one.
Mr. Smith, you're charged with 2 counts of trafficking in cocaine, possession of cannabis 20 grams or less, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I guess it's 2 counts because one was powdered cocaine and one is crack cocaine. I find probable cause as to all counts. Your bond is $30,200.
Your Honor, Mr. Smith has been living here all of his life. His mother lives here also. He currently has a disability because of his leg. He has a bad knee, torn ligaments in his leg. I did speak with his mother. He can live with her. I do have an address where he could live. She has no money to bond him out at this particular time. I'd ask the court to consider a reduction of the bond on counts 1 and 2.
And Your Honor, I think the convenience bonds, as said, are appropriate considering not only the minimum mandatory prison sentence he faces if convicted, but frankly, I think he's actually going to score even more than the bottom of the minimum mandatory because of his criminal history, which includes 2014 possession of felony controlled substance. He violated probation. 2014 possession of cocaine with a VOP. 2011 possession of cocaine, 25-month state prison. 2011 possession of cocaine with intent to sell or distribute. 2009 felony possession of cannabis. 2009 possession of cocaine. 2006 possession of cocaine with intent to sell or distribute, 32-month state prison. 2006 possession of cocaine, VOP, same sentence. Possession of cocaine, 96, a year and a day. 1995 aggravated battery, great bodily harm, and shooting at or throwing a deadly missile with a violation of probation, 95.5 months state prison. Possession of cocaine, 95. Culpable negligence, 94.
All right, before we go into ancient history, I think I've heard enough to realize that these bonds, if anything, are low, so I will keep them as they are. Thank you very much. Good luck,
Thank you,
sir.
Judge. Good luck, Kevin.
And I guess we cannot get Mr. Pete because they're still on lockdown?
They are, Judge.
All right, well then, Mr. Pete, I'll find probable cause and they can deal with him tomorrow. Okay, and second looks or other things?
Whatever, yeah, we got 2 second looks and a 30 days, so whichever you want to handle, Judge.
Somebody gonna give me some paperwork and I will handle it.
Yeah, Deputy, did you hear that?
Your Honor, if you call a case like
Judge,
I'm
we have,
dangerous.
Judge,
You
I
gotta
think
give
you're
me
right, it's an
six lawyers.
extradition.
Your Honor, if you call either of the second look cases, we can get you a copy of the PC.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Pete,
You sure you
we
put
set till
it?
tomorrow. Okay, all right.
See if they're here. No, look at everything. I bury things. Who knows what I did with it? This is juvenile stuff. Why is this up here? Let's see if I threw it out. But I don't think so. No, nothing in the garbage. All right, you ate it. I ate it. No, that's the case law. No? Okay. We'll have to share. What's on top?
Your Honor, we did miss one on the regular docket.
You did?
Yes, Michael Bassett would have been the second case called. He's in North Broward. It's an extradition.
Was that the one?
No, that's the Bassett is the one that.
He's holding for Missouri, right?
It
No,
looks like
or
the hold
Nevada.
is dismissed.
They just.
Sure, Louisiana.
He's gonna be ad charged with Nevada.
Sir, Louisiana.
All I know that the jail called and told me they've got him. I have a docket with his name on it.
Yeah? Can you find that? Mr. Bassett? It's like the
Yes.
first or
Well,
second
how about-
one. I thought we discussed it. You don't have,
No, he's on page 2 of our regular
I mean,
docket.
Your Honor, I think all we need to do is, if I understand this correctly, if we go to, where is he?
He's in North Broward.
If we go to North Broward and just advise him that the current hold is being dropped, but he's getting a hold from another state, and he'll get brought back when that hold is in effect. Is that correct, Sheila? Yeah.
Okay,
So I don't think
so
we need the paperwork to advise him that. Just let him know.
the hold from
The current hold,
From
what state is that?
Louisiana is being dropped,
Yes.
but they're filing a hold from the state of Nevada. So you'll come back another day. Tomorrow? Tomorrow.
To my knowledge, it's the other way around, but I'm not sure.
I can't guarantee you. That's what I've been advised by the state attorney and BSO.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do we have? We have Eddie Zazzario.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. And he's charged with prostitution. Been in custody for 4 days.
Judge, this is the second time he's been on a second look docket with us. He doesn't have any real ties to the community. He was down here from somewhere else. He can't post a bond. He's been in jail 4 days. I'd ask the court to consider time served.
State?
If he wants, I have no objection to the court making an offer.
Paying attention, sir?
Does he want to resolve this case today?
That's what I was asking him, Judge. He didn't understand. That's what I was explaining. But he does want to try to resolve it today. He says he doesn't want to come back to fight the charges.
The other thing he could do is, if you inquire of him if he has any drug or alcohol problems, he could go into misdemeanor drug court.
I did ask him. What I told him, Judge, is basically he didn't understand the difference from what a trial was. So I explained he could come back and fight the charges if he wanted to, or we could try to resolve it today. The case would be over. And he said, yeah, I don't want to come back. I just want the case to be over today.
Okay, well, but then he'll have a criminal record. So he has another option, counsel, of going into misdemeanor drug court if he has a drug or alcohol problem. And if he'll have to participate in that program for 6 months, but then the case would be dismissed.
Sure, I can explain that to him as well, Judge.
Thanks.
1 second.
Judge, while that's being explained, I just got a call from the jail about Mr. Pete.
Yeah?
Based on what they told me, Judge, I'd be satisfied if you would just magistrate him, or just find probable cause,
I
send him
did.
to his division.
I did.
I don't think we need to reset him.
I found probable cause. What
I
about
think you also reset him for tomorrow. I don't think that's necessary.
give Judge Lerner Wren something to do?
That you could do.
Okay, so.
That you could do.
All right.
All right, so he will not be on tomorrow's docket.
Yes, he will.
He will.
Yes, she'll be
Okay.
here tomorrow.
Okay.
Judge, he is interested in the program. If you could just explain, I don't know all the fine details. He asked me like where he would report in and stuff like that.
He would report to courtroom 6150 Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. sharp.
In light of Mr. Zaccario wanting to elect us, I have no objection. I believe he said he has a friend he's staying with. If that's the case, I don't have a problem if you want to ROR him. He just has to he'll hopefully show up at your courtroom.
Okay, well, I'll consider that he's gotten notice to appear, so if he doesn't appear on Wednesday morning in my courtroom, I'll issue a capias with a no bond hold. Okay? So 9 a.m. sharp, courtroom 6150, Judge Zeller. I'll ROR him on this case and see you then.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Richard Knox.
Conti, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Knox, we're here on a second look. You're charged with trespass. You've been in 4 days. Is there any reason I can't give him a plea offer of time served?
I don't believe so. If I could just check one thing, Your Honor. I just want to make sure this wasn't someone's home or something like that. I doubt it was. No, I have no objection. Just at a sit-go, I have no objection to the court.
Okay, so if you want to resolve this case, sir, my offer to you would be a withhold of adjudication, 4 days, Broward County Jail credit for 4 days' time served, and you'll have 90 days to pay your court costs.
No contest.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, that's that. That's that. You can have that. You can have this. Who's that? But I have this. So we have Clyde Maxey. What are we doing with this?
Your Honor, this is a motion to release. The state has not yet filed an information. Defendant is entitled to release.
Judge, I filed a 30-day motion for ROR in his case. I don't believe the charges are filed unless they did it this afternoon.
No, I don't think so. So the motion for ROR is granted.
Great, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Your ROR, yeah. Thank you. Judge, also, just so I wrote down for the other gentleman, it's Wednesday morning at 9, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
I put it
you.
on a sheet of paper for him.
Okie
Thank you.
dokie. Bye.